My name is Jake. I'm from the United States, and I first came to China in 2010 to learn martial arts. So now I've been here for about 15 years, and I'm a 16th generation inheritor of the Sangfeng lineage. So I teach martial arts, I teach Taoism, and I teach Chinese music as well. I grew up watching Kung Fu movies in the 90s. So we watched all of the Jackie Chan, Jet Li, all these different martial arts movies that came out. Definitely inspired me quite a lot. But growing up, I was in a small town in Illinois, so I actually didn't have a lot of opportunity to learn Kung Fu. That's kind of what made me decide to come to China, because I figured if I wanted to learn, I wanted to go directly to the source. I was more familiar with Shaolin, but I also felt like it was much more competitive, it was much more acrobatic, and I'm 190 centimeters tall. I've never done Kung Fu in my life, so I didn't think that I was going to be doing backflips and things like this. I wanted something to be healthy. I wanted something to have balance in life. Where I grow up in the Midwest of America, it's a farming community. It's like really hard labor jobs. And so a lot of my family, my friends, and the people I know, they have a lot of health problems. If I'm older, I really want to stay in control of my own health. And I saw that in the philosophy and in the practice in Wudang. So here we practice Tai Chi Chuan, but we also practice martial arts, and that gives you a better balance. I also did kind of want to shock my system. When I was growing up in the Midwest, it's very easy to inherit everything. Like you can inherit your health from your family, you can inherit your job from your community, even what you believe you inherit from your friends and family. And so I just felt like maybe I didn't understand what I would really want. I wanted to figure out who I really am. I did some travel in high school within the States, but yeah, the first time I left the country was to come to Wudang to learn martial arts. Sifu designed the program to be an international class. We had the Americans, Canadians, Russian, Irish, Portuguese, Australian, kind of just from all over. And when we came, the plan was to train for 5 years. In the 5 years, we learned the whole curriculum. So we did martial arts training, we did Tai Chi, Qigong, meditation. We learned a bit about Taoist culture. Chinese language wasn't in the class, but a lot of us learned Chinese while we lived here. Every day we're up at 5:30 in the morning to run and stretch and train. And we pretty much train all day until 9, 10 o'clock at night. So it's a pretty full schedule. We only rest on Thursdays. In Wudang, we have a lot of special styles of martial arts. The most important one is Tai Chi Chuan. It's the most famous sequence, and we have a lot of forms dedicated to this. We also have the spear, which is a very common military weapon in martial arts schools. This has a lot of very long movements, very dynamic body transitions. My favorite weapon in Wudang is the staff. The form that we do is called Eight Immortals staff. The movements in this form emulate the ideas and the characteristics of the Eight Immortals in Chinese culture. We also have the Wudang sword. It's very delicate. It's kind of the gentleman's weapon. It says it takes 10,000 days to master the sword. Another very traditional Taoist weapon is actually the Fu Chen, which we can call the horsehair whisk. It's used in temples for different ceremonies. We also use it as a martial arts weapon for whipping, and it actually mimics a lot of Wudang sword movements as well. Not everyone who joined the class stayed in. So when we first started and throughout the class, maybe it's close to 30 people. But in the end, after 5 years, only 12 people finished. Of course, I can say the most difficult thing in training is just the physical parts of it, like the push-ups, the running, the kicking, the flexibility was especially difficult for me. But I think altogether, the hardest thing is just the time, like the idea of perseverance, the ongoing practice of it. The 5-year program finished in 2014, but at that point, I actually felt that that was the starting point. I first started listening to Chinese music while I'm practicing Kung Fu here, because you hear it in the environment. Like if you go to the mountain, you hear the Taoist music. I came back to Wudang in 2018 to continue practicing martial arts, and that's when I picked up the dongxiao, the bamboo flute, because that was the most convenient of them. It's just a stick with holes, and very easy to play, I thought. From the very beginning, I've only been self-taught. But as I started practicing, I realized how difficult it was. I felt that kind of anxiety that I hadn't had for a long time. So I felt like the Dongxiao was maybe another aspect of the training. When we're learning standing meditation, we learn how to relax the shoulders, we learn how to empty the chest, we learn how to breathe from the dantian. And I thought I was doing that right. When you learn Dongxiao, they say the same thing, but then no sound would come out. So I realized that this instrument was also a very good tool to kind of help understand more about yourself. So I taught myself how to read Jianpu. I did that for a long time, researching, translating, finding books to read about the Dongxiao and taught myself over time.
你的节奏慢下来，已经好一些，但是你要把那个第一句。
Now I'm also publishing my own books in English so that other people can learn, because there was no material for me when I first started. So today I'm also teaching students online in different countries as well as within China. The environment in my home is very traditional. Like, we listen to music all day, and my daughter grew up with that. So I think she has a very good relationship with music. You know, now she's learning Guzheng. She really enjoys it. But in the very beginning, we had to encourage her. She was maybe frustrated because it was difficult. But now she's starting to embrace it a lot more. For her, I think it's very normal to do something with art, to do something with martial arts, to do something with music, because she's always around it.
Pretty good today. Why are you so good today? What happened? Why you play so well today?
Most important, I just want her to have the opportunity with whatever she wants to learn. In the very beginning, I found Wudang through videos online. So I also think it's come full circle that now I can help other people find Wudang through my videos. You know, sometimes I tell people, like, for me it's Yi Wu Ru Dao. You know, like, through martial arts you experience Taoism. I came here to be healthy, but I stayed for the culture because those were the principles that the martial arts was built upon. I started doing other practices like music, calligraphy. The more you study, the more perspective you have. It actually helps you understand the deeper layers of the practice. And I also think that the way we live in the West, or just in modern society, we live so we can work. But it should be we work so we can go live. You know, I think we spend so much time today just doing jobs. If I use all my time working, then I actually don't have good health. I can't enjoy my life. And for me, I think my life is not normal, but I think that it should be normal. You know, you should always try to take care of yourself before you go out and try to be famous or chase riches or something like this. I love my life. I love that I'm able to continue practice and continue studying and doing the things that I'm passionate about. And I can also teach that to other people, and I can make that my way of life.